And now it'll turn over to his head coach Pat Popolizio. And Coach, first, I guess, if anything you wanted to follow up from Hayden, and then we'll open it up to questions.
Yeah, as you can see, he's one that is ahead of his years right now. I think you can see the maturity and the reason why the leadership is where it's at NC State. And a guy like Hayden has been a huge impact over the years for us. I think one, to get our culture where it's at, and then to set the standard of what it is to be a true student athlete. And we're thankful to have him as his leadership, and his successes he's had on the mat so far speak for themselves. And I know he's excited to have the opportunity to compete here next week.
Thank you, Coach. We'll start Mike Willis, then Andy. You can go after Mike.
Coach, I think 5 of the 6 teams in the ACC ended the season in the coaches' rankings. What's it like to compete in such a tough conference, and one where every conference duel is going to be against a quality opponent?
Yeah, I think, first of all, the ACC is one of the best conferences in the country, and that's due to the coaches we have involved here right now. The conference is definitely elevated when you look at the rankings and the level of every individual and the teams. I think it's helped us a lot. Each team has had to elevate their game, and you see it, when we get to the conference tournament. The competition's tough. It's elite, and you got to be ready, and you got to be on your A game. And I think that's something maybe in the years past we've been missing to prepare us for the national tournament. And we finally have it. When you get in our conference tournament, I know it's small, but every match matters, and they're tough, gritty matches that you got to win. And I think that's something we saw this past conference tournament. There was a lot on the line for one, individual seeding, and then getting guys scoring points for you to win the thing. There's a little added stress when you're in the team race, and I think that's a good thing. I think that's really helping all the schools in the ACC.
Go ahead, Andy.
Coach, from what we've seen and what we've heard from Hayden Hidley, he seems like he's the ideal role model for a program. Great on the mat, great in the classroom, great personality and interacting with fans and other people. Is it any coincidence that he has been kind of on the leading edge of the program's resurgence, and he's a great role model for both members of the team and people that you want to bring into the program?
Yeah, I think that goes back to, guys like Wisdowski and Machiavello, Tommy Gant. They got momentum going for us, guys that believed in what we were about early in the stages. And then I think timing was critical for Hayden to come here and carry that torch. And again, his maturity and his leadership has been first class for us. And our culture is something we focus a lot on. And, when you find an athlete that mirrors that, and is a 4.0 student athlete, working to be perfect in every aspect of his life, I think it shows when he's out there competing. But, without that leadership, I think things could be different here. And people have bought in around Raleigh and love what our guys are about. It's hard not to like a guy and root for a guy like Hayden.
And if I could just follow up, with his brother Trent now on the team, both great wrestlers, but different individuals. Could you just tell how they compare and contrast and add to the overall culture of the program?
Yeah, I think when you get a chance to talk to both of them, you can tell they're very motivated, very focused athletes. And I think, Hayden is a little different in his ways. I think he's obviously the maturity level where he's at. It's you can have a really in-depth conversation. Trent is one you can probably joke around a little more, closer to competition, and he likes to celebrate, be a little more flashy. He likes that limelight, and I think Hayden likes winning, but he might not be as flashy. But at the end of the day, those guys represent our program in the right way and do things right. But we noticed the difference. There was a couple matches this year where Trent was out, and it was just a different feeling when we were traveling. And when he had his appendix removed, we had a couple first matches and he wasn't able to go with us and staying back. And there was just that we were missing a little bit of that mentality, that, toughness that you want behind the scenes and in that relaxed setting. So they both bring this set of confidence. One's a little different than the other, but it is a good recipe for us right now.
Mike?
So a couple years ago, the program kind of took the next step, got on the podium at the NCAAs. What's it going to take to take it one further and, get on the top of the podium and knock off, maybe some of the front runners like Iowa this season?
Yeah, no doubt. You got your work cut out for you when you got programs like Iowa and Penn State where they're at. They've got history and tradition. We know that. You got to step up. You got to really elevate your game. You got to have a guy come through like Tariq did a couple years back that was unseeded and got hot and won a lot of matches by bonus points. So, all our guys, one, got to wrestle to their seeds, which is not an easy task to do. It doesn't matter what team or what athlete you are. And then you need a guy or two to really step up their game and score points that you didn't expect. And we all know anything can happen in the national tournament. It's a wild, crazy tournament. No one has an advantage over anyone with last year not having it. So every athlete's been out of the game as far as the national tournament for the last 2 years. So it's going to be a fun, interesting competition.
All right, see if there are any additional questions here for Coach. Please raise your hand. All right, seeing none, Coach, thank you for taking the time today. Safe travels. We look forward to seeing the Wolfpack in St. Louis next weekend.
Appreciate it. See you guys.